What up, everyone? So, I made some videos about what happens if you can't find a cash buyer. The next biggest question I get is, well, you say renegotiate with the seller. Well, how in the hell you do that? So, I'm going to show you, I guess, in a way, explain how you renegotiate with the seller. It's not as hard as you all think. It's pretty simple. So, let's say you put a property under contract. I do all virtual, so when I do a deal, the seller sends me all the pictures or videos and gives me a list of what kind of repairs it needs and if the house has anything new to it, like a new roof, new hot water heater, whatnot. I go off that. That's what I estimate my repairs off of. I put it in tiers or levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go from there. So after I do that, I make them a cash offer. They say yay, no. They sign the contract. I use hellosign.com. They sign it. I start advertising with cash buyers, local Facebook investor groups, and all that good stuff. So in the first 3 to 7 days, and usually for me, because I'm experienced at this by now, first 3 days I know if something's off. So usually if it's a deal, you won't get traction. Your cash buyers or people who see your posts, I'm like, hey, shoot me the details, email them to me, message them to me, whatever you got to do. And you don't hear back from them, or they go look at it and you still don't hear back. Reach out to people in the first 3 to 7 days. It's crucial. Just reach out and be like, hey, what'd you think of the place? And they're going to tell you, man, them repairs are way worse, or the comps are off, which I don't really have comp issues too much. The only thing that ever pops up very rarely is it's in a really, really bad neighborhood. So obviously I can't tell that, without being there. I can't tell if one street's nice and the next street's a war zone. So sometimes that just happens. But I go and I renegotiate with the seller. I'm like, oh, cool, what number do you need to be at? And they'll tell me. They're like, oh, we need to be at this number. Well, from all the deals I've done, that number's usually, I got to renegotiate with the seller $5,000. Usually I've gave it to the cash buyers at a high enough price that when they tell me a number, it's usually the price I have it under contract for. So what I'm trying to do is just salvage a deal and make $5,000. I just reach out to the homeowner. I'm like, hey, these repairs are, worse than what I expected. You sent me pictures. You told me it needed this, but really it needs this. And usually my cash buyers, I'll say, hey, did you get pictures, or can you go shoot me pictures or a video of what you've seen? And they will. They're like, yeah, man, I can do that. I'm like, because if you're really interested, I'm going to try to make the numbers work and we'll make this a deal. So they'll shoot me pictures, Dropbox link, video, whatever, and say, man, this is what's wrong with it. So I'll say, hey, my buddy, when I looked at it, here's the pictures and videos. Most of the time, the sellers aren't aware. They haven't even seen the property, believe it or not. Some have, and they're like, oh, well, I didn't really think it was that bad off. I haven't seen it in a few months or whatever. But I'm like, well, for this to be a deal for me, because I'm trying to make money at the end of the day, I just need it, I need at this price. Or if you can't do that, it's totally fine. We'll just terminate the purchase agreement and go our separate ways. No harm, no foul. I don't haggle with them. I'm like, it's A or B. And usually they're like, yeah, I just don't want to deal with this property anymore. It's a headache. I don't have to try to sell it to someone else and they go make me a lower offer or anything. So I'll just eat the $5,000. That's cool. I just want to be paid, because I'm like, that's fine. You'll still get paid within 30 days. It's no big deal. And we'll lock it up. I'm like, watch your email. I'm going to send you an addendum. All it is a 1 page. It says, hey, we agreed to a new purchase price. You just have to sign it. It'll come through HelloSign like the purchase agreement did. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, that's it. I'm like, yep, that's it. I'll take care of everything else. The closing company, I'll give them, give them the new addendum, the new purchase price, and they'll start the title work, and we'll go from there. So that's usually all it takes. And I do all this usually 90% of the time. I do this all via text, messenger, whatever I got to do. I don't ever pick up the phone and do a call unless I absolutely have to. Now, in rare cases, they'll be like, call me, and I'll call them. But most time, via text is all it takes. Sometimes I'm like, well, let me think about it. I'm like, well, that's fine if you want to think about it. I'll give you 24 hours. If not, I'm just going to terminate the contract, because, I don't really have a choice. I don't want to waste no more time than I have, because I got other properties I can look at that I don't want to tie this money up on this one and pass up another deal, if, in case you just tell me no. So if you can let me know within 24 hours, great. Usually just doing that, it's usually within an hour. If they even don't tell me on the phone or via text, they'll be like, okay. They'll let you know, because they don't want to miss out knowing that you may have another property that money may go towards. So that's all you got to do. It's all, you don't have to do any special work. It's 1 paper. It's an addendum. It's on my site. You just send it to them, they, sign it, and you send it to a title company. It's not a big deal. But let's say they want to terminate the contract. They're like, no, I'm not taking a penny less. I already took less than what I wanted. I'm not going any less. I'll just keep it. I'm like, totally get that too, man, or ma'am, whoever you are. I'll be like, well, I'm just going to send you an email saying I'm terminating the contract under paragraph 4, I think is what it is. And if you ever change your mind, please reach out to me first before you list it or anything. If you decide you'll take a little less what I offer, just reach back out, and I can still do a cash deal and get you paid within 30 days. That's happened a couple times for me. So most people, so I've had some reach out 6 months later and be like, hey, you can take, and I'm like, well, can't do that price now because the market's a little different. Comps went down, so I can do this price, and they'll take it. So they got even less by waiting. So that's all it is to renegotiating with a seller, and that's all it is to terminating a contract. Once you email them, say it's terminated, I just shoot an email to the title company like, hey, the purchase agreement on such and such address, it's terminated, just close that file, no big deal. Because they haven't started the title work, because when I email a title company, I was like, hey, don't start any title work, any title searches, because how it works with my experience from all my title companies, if they start work and I cancel a contract, I got to pay that. Like, the homeowner don't have to pay it. I don't have a cash buyer. I am the cash buyer technically on that contract. I got to pay that title search, which could be anywhere from $150 to $250. So I always just tell them, don't start anything until I get a cash buyer and I sign it to them, or I do a double close contract to BC, and then they start the title work. And usually title work's 24 to 48 hours for all my title work. I've only had one take longer. 7 days I think it took, but then I had one that had big title issues. It took like 9 months because they had to go to court multiple times because it was just a big tax lien sale that the woman didn't get the right title and blah, blah, blah. So typically title work from my area is always 24 to 48 hours from all the title companies I've ever used. So that's how you terminate a contract. It's how you renegotiate with the seller. It's not a big ordeal. It's simple. Just don't be the big douchebag that waits till the 29th day of a contract and then try to renegotiate or terminate. Don't do that. It's not ethical. Wholesalers get a bad rap. I do not recommend it at all. 3 to 7 days, 7 days max, it should be renegotiating or terminating. Try to do it the best you can, the fastest you can. The quicker the quicker you renegotiate or terminate, the better your reputation will stay, the better relationship you'll have with that seller for in the future in case they decide to sell and whatnot. So hope this helps. Please like, share, follow, all that good stuff. See y'all later.